If you played sports in college or you played sports professionally, there is a mindset that you have that's preventing your success in your business as well as your career. And in today's video, I'm gonna help you overcome this mindset. My name is Hafiz and I'm one of the co-founders of The Standard, which is a private membership community that improves the health, wealth, and relationships of six-figure earners. And so I'm going to walk you through something that I've seen to be a reoccurring theme that's been affecting a lot of the men in the community, because a lot of our members used to play sports in college as well as professional. So there was a guy who recently joined for the sake of his, privacy. Let's go ahead and call him James. So James played professional baseball and he was really struggling with growing and scaling his new business that he started. And so obviously joining The Standard, he wants to get support. And I'm going to walk you through literally the fallacy that so many athletes such as James believe and what I do to solve it. So let's say right now there's a sports team and that sports team has a record of 1-99. Okay. So in your opinion, if I told you there was a sports team with a record of 1-99, would that be a great team or would that be a terrible team? Almost every last one of you guys are going to tell me that it was a terrible team. Back when I was playing high school football, there was a team in Gwinnett County called Meadow Creek. Meadow Creek was complete garbaggio. They would always lose and they would only win basically one game when they were playing a team that was just way in a smaller region than they are, right? So most of us understand that wins and losses in sports is all that matters. And the key is to have more wins than losses. So here is the reality. That mentality is amazing for sports, but it's absolutely antithetical for life and for business. Let me explain. Let's say there was a guy and I told you his dating record was 1-99. How would you feel about that guy? Some of you guys might say, well, that guy's not very good at dating. That guy's not good with women. He doesn't know what he's doing. But the question becomes is, what does that one win stand for? And if I told you that one win that he got ended up being his wife, who is the exact body type, face type, and personality that he always wanted, my question to you is, would this guy be a winner or failure in your eyes? Because I guarantee you when he's showing up to his high school reunion or college reunion with his beautiful wife by his side, everyone's gonna be like, holy crap, is that Jim? Bro, look at that girl. Man, girl's hot, man. That's his wife. Oh, bro, man, Jim's that guy. Everyone is only gonna focus on that one win. You think people are going to be like, oh yeah, Jim, it doesn't matter. Girls don't like him because back in high school, he would always strike out. Oh yeah, back in college, I remember when all these girls were laughing at him. No one cares. If Jim is now happily married with the exact woman that he wants, who cares how many other women didn't like him? Who cares? And that is the secret about life. Life has nothing to do with your record because all you need is one. So another example, when it comes to business, let's say there's a guy who I told you, hey, when it comes to starting businesses, he's 1-99. Is that guy good or is that guy bad? Depending on who you are, you're like, oh my gosh, that guy had 99 failed businesses. He sucks. But what if I told you that one win was a unicorn business that got $1 billion valuation and he was able to sell it and sail off into the sunset? Or maybe he runs it and he absolutely loves running it. Is this guy a failure now? Of course not. Because in the business world, all that matters is the win. Nobody cares about how many businesses that Warren Buffett missed on. No one knows how many businesses that Ray Kroc tried to invest in before he founded McDonald's. No one knows about all the challenges that Sam Walton dealt with before he started Walmart. No one cares about the losses. You write books primarily about the wins. And so I realized that so many athletes live in this false binary. And the false binary is the following, is you believe in wins and then you believe in losses. Here's the reality about life. Wins is true. Losses are not true. It's about wins and lessons. Because here's the secret, guys. Every lesson learned is another step closer to a win. That's how it works. So I remember my business partner, Joseph Hines, would tell me the story that when he first started getting started in sales, what he realized is that, man, for every 50 customers I get, 49 of them would reject me and one would say yes. So he started counting his losses because he said, you know what? If I can just lose 49 times, I'm going to get to a win. It changed his mindset. And so what happens is that, guys, like I said, there's no losses. There's just a lesson. So then going back to the gym example of the guy who was dating, because every time a girl rejected him or a girl ignored him or a girl flaked on him or a girl wasn't right fit, he learned a lesson that helped him meet his wife. Same with the business. Every time a previous business failed, he learned a lesson. Oh, I can't hire that guy. He learned another lesson. Oh, I need an HR guy for this. He learned all these lessons and it led to the wins in life. So you need to start taking the challenges, the obstacles, the difficulties that you're dealing with today and stop saying that you're losing and start saying that you're gaining lessons. And what do I need to learn about each lesson? And here's my $1 million framework that I've been working on and I'm proud to say I'm almost there perfecting. The stories that you believe create the mindsets that you have, and the mindsets that you have lead to the actions that you take. And then the actions that you take lead to the results or the outcomes that you experience. Story, mindset, action, results, or outcomes. So let me tell you how this works. Let's say you're a guy who believes not in wins and lessons, but let's say you're a guy who believes in wins and losses. Here is how that messes you up. So this is primarily analyzing the story component. Whenever you win at something in life, give me 3 things that you believe about yourself. Can we say, I am smart, I am confident, I am capable? So whenever you experience a win, usually you feel these 3 things. Now on the flip side, every time you experience a loss, how do you feel? Do you feel dumb, insecure, incapable? Is it safe to say that that's how we feel, guys? Whenever things don't go our way, right? So here's what happens, guys. If you view life as a win and a loss, and then during the loss, the story that you tell yourself is, I'm dumb, I'm insecure, and I'm incapable. Now what mindset do you begin to have? Do you have the mindset of a champion, someone who can succeed in spite of all obstacles? No, you probably start to have the mindset of feeling like, oh, I can't do it. I can't achieve. I can't accomplish anything. You start second guessing yourself. And now with that mindset, what becomes those actions? Remember what I said, what a mindset is. A mindset is an internal belief or idea that leads to an action that you take. So if you believe I'm not capable, if you believe I'm dumb, if you feel insecure and incompetent, what actions are you going to take? You're going to be terrible at dating. You're going to go up to women and be awkward and weird. You'll be terrible at business. You're not going to come into meetings confident when it's time to negotiate. Your entire demeanor is going to change because this story that you believe, because you believe that you're losing. And that's why I constantly tell all the guys, I don't care how much money you make. What stories do you tell yourself? What mindsets do you embody? And so that's why we don't want to have this false binary for wins and losses. So I was talking to this guy. I said, tell me about the best baseball game you ever played and tell me how you feel. And he described all these emotions. And I said, now tell me about the worst baseball game that you played and tell me how you feel. He described all these emotions. And what you find out, guys, is based upon that mindset, nothing changes physiologically about you, whether you win or lose. What changes is your mindset, and then you begin to play differently. Remember, mindset leads to actions. So if you believe that you're not good, you're going to play not good. If you believe you're the best, you're going to play like the best. Because guess what happens? The process is still the same. In order to achieve success, what you have to be able to do is, in spite of the scoreboard, in spite of the record, you must do the right thing. You must believe in the process. You must be able to have the mentality of, doesn't matter what is happening, I know I can be able to achieve this. So that's why when you believe in the lessons, you say, oh, wow, I learned something new. And guess what happens? When you learn something new, what is that story in your mind? Think about it, guys. Check this out. So when you win, you're happy. If you learn a lesson that's gonna help you make more money or succeed in business, how are you gonna feel? You'll feel happy, right? If I literally, hopefully this video is doing it for you, is making you feel happy because like, holy crap, I'm learning a different mindset that's gonna help me with my business. So the great part about having this framework of wins and lessons is that even when a loss happens, you learn a lesson and that makes you better, and that lesson leads to more wins. So guys, I hope this video helped. Apply this to your business, apply this to your life. And the last thing I will go ahead and say is the only time you actually lose in life is when you stop playing or when you stop learning. So if you're a guy and you've been dealing with challenges dating, you say, screw it, I suck, all these girls are terrible, the world is coming to an end, you lost. If you're a guy in business where it's like, man, it's so challenging, so difficult, I suck, I could never make any money, the system is rigged, you lost. The only time you truly lost is when you stop playing in the game. The dopest part about business that I love so much is that it's not like sports. If you are 45 years old and you still haven't made an MLB team, what is the likelihood that you're about to make an MLB team at 46, 47, 48? Obviously very low, because if you have not achieved it now, you probably will never achieve it. But that's not true about life. Because in the world of sports, as you get older, your body becomes weaker, it becomes less strong, it becomes less competent, it becomes less able. But in the world of business, guess what? Every year you learn a new lesson. And business is a sport played in your mind. And as you get older, you actually get better, right? In sports, 30 years old, 28 is your prime. In business, 28 and 30 is your youth, right? You rather be the wise 60-year-old entrepreneur than the aspiring 20-year-old guy when it comes to making money. So don't feel like you're a failure, because guess what? You can literally take lesson after lesson after lesson for a whole decade and be like a Ray Kroc, if that happened to be so, and still be known as one of the greatest entrepreneurs and businessmen of all time. So I hope that video helped. Hope it changed your mindset. Thank you guys so much for your time, and have a great day.